Van Halen 1, released February 10th, 1978, an iconic cover to begin the Van Halen catalog. The cover, of course, the introduction of the famous VH logo, and this is the early version of the logo with the band's name. And a man named David Behang designed the cover and the VH logo. Yes, David Behang is the designer of the iconic VH logo. He designed covers for many LA-based record companies since the 60s, and oddly enough, he also designed the cover and the logo for the first Montrose album from 1973, and that album featured Sammy Hagar as the lead singer. The cover photos were taken on the stage at the Whiskey A Go-Go, a frequent playing ground of the band. Elliot Gilbert was the photographer. Now, Elliot Gilbert also photographed the Cars' debut album and worked with Tom Waits and was the photographer for the Leo Sayer album. Eddie Van Halen with the white Frankenstrat guitar. David Lee Roth with the strategically placed microphone. Michael Anthony with the blurry bass. And Alex Van Halen smoking hot behind the drum kit. On the back cover, the picture of David Lee Roth bending over backwards. He's got some leather and chains on the stage as well. And if you look above the picture, you can read, produced by Ted Templeman, but the rest of the credits are angled the other way. So you have to turn the cover 90 degrees to read them. And oddly enough, when you do so, it makes the David Lee Roth picture look like this. Very cool design. On the inner sleeve, the VH. This is, of course, the early version with the band's name in the logo and technically only two wings on the V and the H. And on the other side, pictures of the band after what looks like a pretty rockin' set and more credits. Now, initial pressings of Van Halen 1 on the vinyl, the label featured the Warner Burbank logo and looked like this. But then after about 6 months, around July 1978, Warner updated their label with the white background and the bold Superman-looking logo, so all Van Halen records would have this label for the next 9 years. And that's Van Halen 1. And then Van Halen 2, released on March 23rd, 1979. There it is, the iconic VH. A slight update on the logo. The band's name is taken off, one more wing is added, and this is the one that would show up on 1 million high school notebooks all over the world. And the blue background, too, a contrast to the first album to set it apart from Van Halen 1, which was the dark, the black color. This is the blue background, and the band's name on the top, same as the first album, but this time with the 2 at the end. David Behang, the designer again for this album. Pictures again taken by Elliot Gilbert. Also, Neil Zazilwer, a very famous photographer, took some pictures of the band for Van Halen 2 and would continue to work with Van Halen for many years. On the back, pictures of the band in action. David Lee Roth doing the spread eagle jump just before twisting his ankle. You have Eddie with the bumblebee guitar. Michael Anthony ripping up the bass, and Alex Van Halen, his drumsticks are literally on fire this time. On the inner sleeve, more pictures. Eddie, Mike, Alex, and then David Lee Roth twisted his ankle on the third attempt of the jump picture on the back cover of the album. So, on the inner sleeve, his foot is bandaged up, and as you can see, he has some nurses standing by ready to help him out. And that's Van Halen 2. Women and Children First, released March 26, 1980. This time, the band is on the cover for a group shot, and the pictures for the front and the back cover were taken by Norman Seeff. Now, Norman Seeff was the photographer for the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street cover. In addition to hundreds more, check out his website, normanseeff.com. Also, the art director for this album was Richard Serini, and Serini designed hundreds of covers by artists including Rod Stewart, Black Sabbath, and Sammy Hagar. The band rocking out, and the font for the band's name on the front cover would actually show up on a later cover. The back cover, the same thing. Alex holding up Dave's foot. The VH is still on the cover, but this time only a small one on the back. And now, original pressings of the album contained a poster of David Lee Roth by photographer Helmut Newton. It looked like this. And that's Women and Children First. Fair Warning, released April 29th, 1981. This time Van Halen got kind of artistic for the cover. It features scenes taken from a painting called The Maze by William Kurelek. The painting details the artist's tortured youth, and as you can see, they didn't use the whole painting for the cover. They took out portions for the Van Halen cover. Now, Alex Van Halen actually spotted the painting, and he thought it reflected the tone of the music on the album. It's darker, edgier, a grittier Van Halen, so that's what they chose for the cover. There's more scenes from the painting on the back. Pete Angelus designed the cover. He would go on to work with Van Halen for many years in many covers. The inner sleeve, you have a picture of the band on one side, taken again by Neil Zozoer. And on the other side, it's the wall of a pretty desolate-looking place. There's a quote to the lyrics from the song Mean Street and the VH logo spray-painted on the wall. And the wall's been smashed in over the part of the wings on the symbol there. Also an upside-down garbage can in the bottom corner. That's Fair Warning, all right. Diver Down, released April 14th, 1982. This cover is literally the flag for a diver down below. The band's name and the album title you have in the plain black text. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. It's Diver Down. Now, the back cover has the inverted colors with the red stripe and the white background. Pictures of the band live. Diamond Dave jumping in the air. And Al behind a wall of drums. Mike smashing a bass. Eddie grinning, of course. Then there's the picture of the band in front of the huge crowd. That picture was taken at the Tangerine Bowl in Orlando, Florida on October 24th, 1981, just as Van Halen finished up their set opening for the Rolling Stones. That's right, opening for the Rolling Stones. Technically, that is a Rolling Stones crowd, but they ended up on a Van Halen cover. Art directors again, Pete Angelus and Richard Serini, and the photographers Neil Zozoer, along with Michael Marks and Richard E. Aaron, because there are a lot of pictures inside. The inner sleeve has the band picture on one side. That's taken by Neil. And there is a fifth member of Van Halen for Diver Down, Jan Van Halen, on clarinet. That is, of course, Eddie and Alex's father. He played clarinet for Big Bad Bill as Sweet William Now on this album, and it's only fitting that the man who actually really created Van Halen finally shows up on one of the records. And then a ton of pictures on the other side, all during the previous tour, and that's Diver Down. 1984, released January 6th, 1984. The cover is a painting that was created by artist Margot Nahas. It was based on the picture that she took of a friend's son, a boy by the name of Carter Helm. This is the picture. And here their name, Van Halen, it is again the same font as the Women and Children First cover. This time the red color with the black and the white highlights, plus 1984 in the Roman numerals. Then the upside-down back cover, flip this way, the individual pictures of the band on the back. You have the name of the album in the bottom corner, but no song titles on the cover for the first time on a Van Halen record. The inner sleeve has the mysterious photo of some lights. Yes, that's the back of a bunch of Par 64 stage lights. If you look closely, you can see the photographer right there. Raul Vega, he's the photographer for the album. And then on the other side of the inner sleeve, there's the famous cut-up photo of the band. Did they really do that? Did they cut up a photo and put it all back together? And look, that's crazy. Again, art directors Pete Angelus, Richard Serena, and David Jellison for 1984. 5150, released on March 24th, 1986. This is the first album with Sammy Hagar as the lead singer. The cover photo shows the Greek god Atlas kneeling with the weight of the VH on his shoulders. And I love how you can see the empty hallway in the reflection. And if you look up at the top, there's a crack starting to appear in the sphere. The strongman, by the way, that's Rick Valente. He's a former bodybuilder. He was Mr. Los Angeles in 1983, and he's also the host of ESPN's Body Shaping, and he's got the weight of Van Halen on his shoulders, and then on the back cover, it crashes down on the poor guy. The band is broken free, and Van Halen has emerged with 5150. Now, the photographer for the cover of 5150 was Aaron Rappaport. Aaron Rappaport has shot dozens of covers, including Running on Empty by Jackson Browne, Tom Petty's Refugee, and Supertramp's Breakfast in America. And Jerry McManus, the art director, and she designed a lot of covers as well, including Dio's Holy Diver, Like a Virgin by Madonna, and Paul Simon's Graceland. Again, no song titles on the back cover, just the new Van Halen emerging from the broken sphere. On the inner sleeve, the lyrics and the credits on one side, the first time the lyrics were ever included in a Van Halen album, and the new VH on the other side. That is 5150. OU812, released May 28th, 1988. The cover of OU812 is an homage to the cover of With the Beatles. The front cover photograph was taken by Ika Aoshima. She's also worked with the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Lenny Kravitz. And the band's name and the title on the front are embossed as well. It's kind of a cool detail. On the back cover, it's a picture of Darwin's ape, and that is a statue created by artist Hugo Reinhold. It's called Auf mit Schädel, which translates to monkey viewing a skull. On the inner sleeve, you have lyrics and credits on the one side, and then the picture of the 5150 hands. The inner sleeve and the back cover photo, by the way, were taken by Stuart Watson. Then, for the first time, Van Halen has a custom label on the vinyl. One side has the song titles with the 5150 hands, and the other side has just the hands. There you have OU812, and that's 10 years of Van Halen on vinyl.